What's up guys, my name is JellyCook5 and welcome back to the episode of the Player Career Mode. But before we get into things, it'd be much appreciated if you're able to hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification button so you never miss a video. And in terms of all my socials, they're all linked down below so you can keep up to date with everything going on with the channel. I thought I'd start the episode showing you in terms of the top goal scorers in the league currently after the 3 games that we currently played. We also had a very few good games also, so we was able to get 5 goals in the end out of 3. Looking at the actual scorers itself, it looks very tight, but it's very interesting to see who we'll be competing with this year and who we believe will be the front runners in terms of the Golden Boot. The transfer deadline came about, and unfortunately Barcelona were one to actually sell in this rate. They actually do sign João Felix back into Barcelona, but unfortunately they do not keep Pedri. He is actually being sold. I'm not too sure in terms of the fee or where he's actually gone, but yeah, he is actually being sold. So it's unfortunate to be able to see that because he did have a very good start to the season, and we've definitely lost the talent here at the squad. In the previous episode, we was able to gain some skill points, and as you can see, we're going to be spending them. We're actually kind of gaining the tree very, very nicely in terms of what we can actually achieve from our skill points. So we're going to be looking at applying some stuff to the rest of things that haven't been applied to yet, and that will be our dribbling in the end. I feel like it's a thing that we need to upgrade as time goes on, and that's definitely going to give us a boost when running with the ball and everything else. Yeah, we've upgraded the dribbling, and we've also upgraded with the balance with the 3 skill points that we had. If you're not too sure of our stats, we got 92 pace, 85 shooting there, 75 physical and 81 dribbling. Currently sits against 79 rated on the level 28 in terms of XP. So we're very much getting there, but it's always the case. It's going to be a big journey to get to where we want. After we did them skill points, we got some big news, and we've finally been selected for an England call-up. It's been a long time coming in terms of the performances that we've been put in, but Gareth Southgate has noticed our performances and he has selected us for the friendlies of Ukraine and Denmark. A massive privilege to be able to represent the country at the same time, so it's going to be big things coming our way, and I cannot wait to put that England shirt on, that is for sure. If you're not too aware of the player careers, we obviously get a weekly wage, and that goes into a kind of pot, and then you are able to spend it on relative things, and we made an investment and we was able to actually gain some money from the investment also. Able to do so, we've just been able to kind of get a few more thousand back from the investment that we did, so it's always nice to be able to do so and get the money back at the same time. And as you can see, we pumped it into microfinance, put in 85,000, we got 97,000, so we was able to bump our wage up a little bit more. And we was also player of the month for the first month in the La Liga, so it was nice to be able to have that. So we've got a call up, we've got some money, and we've also got player of the month. Couldn't start this episode any better apart from winning, that is for sure. And we've got our first game then of the episode at home against Mallorca, then looking for a decent result here after getting some decent form at the end of the last episode, that is for sure. Looking at the objectives, we need a 7.5 rating, we need 3 shots on target, and we need to avoid losing the match. After getting such good news, we've brought some confidence into this tie, but it seems to be Mallorca are definitely going to give us a game. We tried to do something on the outside of the areas. The ball was kind of blocked initially. On the attack they went as they looked to try and see if they can create something for themselves and hit us on the break, and they do so really nicely here as Lorin, the number 17 for Mallorca, makes a decent run here. Kind of halts himself as he pushes the defender off, but a really good save from Mark de Sagan there, and it will be a corner kick. Nearly the first blood goes to Mallorca as they've got a corner kick, then looking to try and see if they can whip the ball in as we look to try and clear. We do clear, but only as far as the Mallorca attackers, and de Stegen collects very comfortably there as he just nestles it down to the ground. Then as he throws it back out on the left hand side to ourselves, we play a 1-2 with Ilkay Gundogan. I was hoping to receive the ball straight away, to be honest, to be able to make some quick play, but it doesn't seem to be able to do that was the case. Now they've got the possession here, Mallorca, as they look to go on their counter-attack themselves, and they're actually moving the ball really quickly here, and they're actually making some sort of play about themselves, and they're definitely possessing a decent amount of kind of ball and everything else. And look at this for a bit of an attack here. They put it into the middle of the park, so they're just passing it around, kind of assessing their options, doing really well. They put a ball out wide then as Maffeo looks to try and see if he can do something. The ex-City man puts it onto his teammate Dagner. He holds it up as he makes himself go back then as he puts it onto his teammate nicely here as Costa picks it up onto Lorin. And what a hit that is, and what a goal it is for Mallorca to make it 1-0 then just inside 15 minutes. And it's the unlikely team as Mallorca just goes in front then. It wasn't exactly expected, but we haven't had the chances early on in this time. Mallorca have, and they've definitely taken one of them, that's for sure. Perfectly hit goal as he was played into the gap perfectly as he just wasn't marked at the same time. They kind of assesses his options, looks up at the same time, and he absolutely belts this one. No stopping that one from the Stegen, a world-class keeper nevertheless, but unfortunately he wasn't able to stop that one. And it is now 1-0 to Mallorca then, as we could get the free start off, trying to see if we can start things off straight away then as De Jong runs forward then, as you can see. Tried to see if we can get the ball, and we do, because we try and make the run forward, but once again we are stopped in our tracks as Mallorca looks to try and see if they can get a second, and on the attack they go here. Lato puts it down the wing to Mariki as he looks to try and see if he can do something, and he holds it up really nicely here, just making sure he still remains in possession at the same time, as well as not losing the ball, so it's really, really hard to do so, and he does well at the same time, and that's really, really interesting to see how Mallorca are playing. Decent opportunity lies for Mallorca once again, but this time the shot just strays wide, and Dagner will be looking at the one thinking it was that match defining. As you can see, it's all Mallorca though. Barcelona look to be down and out in this first half, and we haven't really created anything for ourselves. Mallorca charging forward now as Dada looks to try and see if he can do something, as he puts it onto his teammate really nicely, plays it back onto Costa then as he looks to try and see if he can offload it to Larin. Larin's got a chance here, but he just can't get the shot off. Barcelona do really well in defending there as they move the ball really quickly, as Gundogan finds us in the middle of the park. 1-2 with Gundogan as he just puts it back to ourselves, so we look to offload the ball on the right hand side. Poor pass from ourselves though, and that's definitely not going to be looked at anytime soon, but at least we won position back again. But Rafinha has a very close chance then, nearly nestling into the bottom corner, but the keeper makes a very big save, that is for sure, and the defence do clear, and they're looking very strong, as I say, Mallorca. They're looking cool, calm and collected. Really, really hard to get them off the ball at any point in given time, and they've definitely kind of asserted themselves with a little game plan, and they're definitely executing it in the best way possible, passing about nicely, getting shots off when they need, attacking at the same time really quickly. Really, really hard to stop teams when they do that, and they're definitely kind of executing it in the best way possible. As you can see, we've got a chance here just before the half-time whistle is blown as Rafinha whips it into De Jong, but he just can't get the shots off enough to be able to trouble the keeper, and that will be 1-0 as we go down the tunnel then with our heads down. Not exactly the best of starts to this first half, that is for sure, as we now have to climb up this mountain as we look to try and see if we can get another goal and get ourselves back into the tie. We're going to be getting a little bit of confidence if we were to do so, but it seems to be that Mallorca are going to execute the same game plan that they did previously, but Koundé makes a really good interception there as Mallorca tries to play forward, and look at this for a pass. De Jong punches in perfectly, only the keeper to beat. Surely not, and it surely is, as it's 1-1 then, a perfect goal to start the second half off in the 52nd minute. Definitely the best of starts that we could have possibly hoped for, and we are now 1-1 now as we stand. At least we've got plenty of time to be able to get ourselves back into the tie and get ourselves a second goal. Really well done on the right foot then, straight across the face of goal. Keep having no chance with that one, that is for sure. And it is now 1-1 in this La Liga tie. Straight after the restart as we look to try and see if we can get a second here. As you can see, we're chasing the ball down nice and quickly. Really, really chasing the game now, as we know the point would really not kind of be the best that we could possibly get. And all three would definitely be a good circumstance to be able to lie with. Mallorca look to go on the attack themselves though, as Lato plays it down on the wing as he looks to try and see if he can offload it to one of his teammates. Once again, Mallorca are passing it about really nicely, but they do lose it in the end as Rafinha picks it up on the right hand side. He plays this in as we look to try and see if we can make a run for ourselves here, as it's hard to beat the number 24 Valiant. We have to cut inside on the left. A little bit of skill beats him as he looks to try and see if we can get the shot off. What a goal it would be! But once again, the defence make a lovely block there. A few times have done that in this tie, but yeah, that was definitely a good block from Mallorca defence. That is for sure. 15 minutes left in this tie to be able to get a second goal. I'm not too sure if it's coming, but as you can see, De Jong makes a really good interception, putting it onto his teammate nicely. We get played in perfectly, and just like that, it was nearly a second goal, but unfortunately it wasn't to be, as the keeper makes a very good save, putting it out for a corner kick. Mallorca goal scorer goes off the pitch, and as we get a corner, as we look to whip it in, decent delivery there as they get it out of their box, tries to get it clear, but unfortunately find De Jong. De Jong onto Berardi onto herself. We hit it, shots blocked as they clear the lines, but only as far as the Barca defence. Koundé picks it up onto Gundogan. We pick it up on the right hand side, looking to try and see if we can run into the gap, and we do so well. We're going to shoot. Are we going to pass? We pass it onto Gundogan, and Gundogan gets the goal to make it 2-1 as we go in front for the first time with 12 minutes left to play. Really, really lucky in the end as we squared it, but it kind of rebounded off the Mallorca defenders, and that is definitely something that we would look back on with a little bit of luck. But yeah, I'm definitely going to take it, that is for sure. Haven't been the best of games for us, that's for sure. We haven't really come out of the blocks at any point in given time, but it's one of those, sometimes you get performances where you still are able to get results, but it kind of doesn't matter in terms of the performance that you put in. Sometimes you can be good, sometimes you can be really, really poor, and it there's no kind of rhythm to it, and sometimes in football you can still be poor and win, and that's exactly what we have done. 2-1 in the end against Mallorca. Very good game in the end. They actually gave us a very nice game, and it was definitely a bit of stern competition, that is for sure. Decent that we got a goal and we nearly got an assist, but unfortunately the rebound doesn't mean that we do get the assist, but we've got the goal and we pretty much set up the second, so very much the case, but we've contributed it in the best way possible, and we have beaten Mallorca then as we look to wait for our objectives and what we completed. We got an 8.6 rating, 92 minutes being played, 1 goal, and we actually do get the assist in the end by the looks of that, so we actually did count. I didn't think it was going to count, but it does. 1800 in terms of the XP, and as you can see the players are very happy beating the rivals of Mallorca. Decent game for us in the end. 3 points is what matters most, and we was able to complete 2 objectives in the end. The only other thing we needed is 1 shot on target, so I was a bit unhappy that we wasn't able to do so, but yeah, that is that. But these are the big times now. These are why we are professional players, and we have got our England call-up at Wembley Stadium against Ukraine then. Big nerves coming into this one, but very excited at the same time as we look up the objectives that Gareth Southgate has set out then. As we look to C7 rating, we need 2 passes in the opponent's half and at least a 55% team possession rate. With that being said, let's get into things and see what happens. Big stuff coming, I'm hoping anyway, but the nerves are definitely there in this tie. Look at the stadium, look how big it is, playing in front of the England fans. Massive moment for us as we get played in by Rashford as we cut inside on the right, but the defender's too quick for us as he tries to get a foot out, and he does really well to do so. He passes it back, as you can see, as the Ukraine defence looks to try and see if they can play it out, but a lovely tackle was made in the end as Ukraine will win the throw-in though, as you can see. But big pressure being made in these first 3 minutes, trying to align ourselves to the teammates, big pitch, everything else. It's going to be hard to do so, but we'll get used to it, and that's what professional players are all about. But we make a really good tackle there, as you can see, and we actually do get wiped out then. For whatever reason, the UK player actually went down and not ourselves, but Rashford picks it up on the left-hand side, tries to put the ball into the box, but he can't. Chilwell latches onto it as he puts it onto Saka. Saka onto ourselves. We can't get a goal, surely not straight away. We get dragged wide to the right-hand side as we look to try and offload it to one of our teammates, but it will be a corner kick. First bit of involvement for ourselves. We get a corner kick then, as we have been notified of the Ukrainian being injured, as a decent corner was whipped in, but no one really latches onto it as it got on the outside of the area. Longstaff wins a header onto Saka. Gallagher picks it up on the outside of the area as he tries to offload it to one of his teammates, but it's just not as successful as Ukraine look to go on the attack themselves. But once again, Ezri Konsa gets a lovely interception, but we just stopped at that last hurdle. Really hard to be able to get past the defence, and they're sitting kind of a real kind of wall on that back four, that is for sure. But we're passing it about nicely nevertheless as we pick it up on the right hand side. Arnold puts it onto Gallagher onto Konsa now as he looks to charge forward then. Konsa finding us in the middle of the park, so we look to try and see if we can get the shot off, and we do. Keeper makes a very good save, putting out for another corner kick. Chances coming thick and fast now. In this 15th minute we've got another chance as Ezri Konsa looks to push it forward as he puts it onto Conor Gallagher. Rashford places him perfectly, and that's the best chance that we've had all game, but the keeper makes another save, putting it out for a corner kick. Rashford with a lovely time pass then, finding the gap to be able to make it kind of a decent opportunity, but unfortunately wasn't able to take it this time round as we get the corner whipped in, but we just don't seem to be able to clear it as fast as what we would like to do so. John Stones ratchets onto that final shot, but unfortunately it just goes out for a goal kick. 20 minutes played into our international debut, and it's been a bit of a tough one, to be honest. That has to be said. Really finding it hard to be able to break down this defence at the same time, get used to everything. But Ukraine look to go on the attack themselves here as they look to try and see if they can create something for the first time in their game. They don't aim to do so there as Saka picks it up on the right hand side, and what a ball that he's played. We make our pace useful here as we make a burst on the right hand side, but no one's really supporting us at the same time, so we have to hold it up as we pass it on to our teammate Longstaff as he finds Alexander Arnold on the right hand side, looking to Gallagher. Gallagher finds himself then in the middle of the park as he puts it onto ourselves. What a back heel, but unfortunately it wasn't a goal then. Very good save by the keeper once again. It was pretty much straight at him, but it was safe hands putting out for a corner kick, and it stays 0-0. Reached the half an hour mark in this first half, and as friendlies goes, it's been pretty tame, to be honest. Neither side really posing any threat. We've had our chances, don't get me wrong, but these are where we need to count them and really need to make them, as you can see. But Saka plays us in so well. This was another perfect chance, but once again the keeper makes a really good save. Rashford latches onto the rebound as he passes it back to ourselves, so we try to get the shot off. Referee does not give anything there as a crowd screams to some sort of penalty or free kick. I'm not too sure, as it was just on the outside of the area from what I saw. Ukraine picked the ball up as they look to go on the counter attack themselves here, as they look to try and see if they can create something for the first time in this tie, proven hard to do so as they haven't really attacked in any sort of flourishing way, and they've proven to be very slow on the attack, sat back, and they've just allowed the pressure to come against them, and they're definitely not really posing any sort of threat for themselves. But a decent chance here, and this was a threat, hits the bar then, and that's probably the closest anyone's actually come in this tie. Ukraine have not had any sort of chance whatsoever for whatever reason, I'm not too sure, and this time they did, and unfortunately wasn't able to take it, and it stays 0-0. Into the second half we go. We're going to be hoping for a better second half compared to what happened in the first. We had chances, but it just really didn't result in any sort of goal whatsoever. The defence looking very strong there, as you can see, once again stopping England in their tracks, but Constantine picks it up in the middle of the park, looks to offload it to Gallagher as they're playing many 1-2s between themselves there as they try to find the gap, but he just can't. Once again the Ukrainian defence make an interception, but what is that? A tackle, and it is a goal to make it 1-0, and we've got our goal on our international debut. What a moment this is for ourselves, and hopefully that is added to many. Saka makes a perfect challenge then, really deep in their half, and unfortunately just couldn't get back enough to be able to get the interception made, and we have found our goal to make it 1-0. Guess it's lucky in some ways, but we will take anything that comes to us, especially if it means we're able to score a goal on our international debut. Looks to be that we've got all the praises coming from Gareth Southgate so far in this tie. As we continue on, as we reach the half an hour mark, Ukraine still not posing any sort of threat as we pick the ball up in the middle of the park as we look to drag it into our own half, but once again we get stopped in our tracks. Fair play to them, to be honest. The defence has been very solid for Ukraine. They've definitely poised some sort of threat in terms of defending, but it's not to be in terms of attacking. But they've got a chance here, as you can see. Suprani looks to try and see if he can get something here. Sudakov picks it up. Sudakov onto his teammate nicely there, but Tomori makes a really good interception, finding Rashford on the left-hand side. Rashford plays us in as we look to get dragged wide then, as we look to try and cut in on the right-hand side to make itself a little bit easier for ourselves. We make a decent run here, finding ourselves in front of the keeper, but once again the keeper makes a very good save, then putting it out for a corner kick. 20 minutes left in this time. We definitely look more comfortable compared to the first half, that's for sure. It would be even better though if we were able to get that second and claim that little bit of solidarity in this tie. As I say, 20 minutes left in this game. Ukraine looking to try and see if they can get their first shot off. They haven't really poised anything in terms of this second half. The first half they hit the bar, but the second half they haven't had any shots. But this is now chance, and there is a decent save made by Aaron Ramsdale as he puts it out for a corner kick. Substitutions being made by both sides then as Trippier comes on the pitch for Ben Chilwell. As Ukraine will have a corner then, they'll be looking for a decent delivery then, but unfortunately it's not going to be the case as Trippier clears. So we look to latch on to Trippier's header, but one man that does is Ezri Kontra as he plays this in so well, making a burst on the left hand side. Our pace seems to be too much from the Ukraine defence as we look to be running out of stamina at the same time. Try to see if we can make it difficult as we cut in on the right side, leaving the Ukraine defence for dead, and we make it 2-0 then, and that should be game set and the match with 15 minutes left to go as we celebrate in front of the England fans, and what a pleasure it is to do so at the same time. Unbelievable debut, getting 2 goals. Hasn't exactly been the most thrilling performances in terms of a team performance and everything else, but at least we're able to get 2 goals on our debut, and it's exactly what we needed. 77 minutes on the clock now. We're pretty much just seeing out the game, and what a game it's been for us in honesty. I wouldn't say it's the most exciting game, but in terms of international debuts and how they go, they've definitely gone to plan, and we've still got a bit of time left here as Saka places in really nicely. Chance for us as it arises perfectly, but it just shies onto the post there as Marcus Rashford gets it on the rebound, and he gets his goal to make it 3-0 with 10 minutes left to play, and that should be game set and the match, that is for sure. As you can see, Marcus Rashford with his celebration as normal, and it's very cool to celebrate with such high profile players in such little time. Really good goal nevertheless, to be honest. He done really well to be able to get the touch, and he just hit it first time, no hesitation whatsoever. Keeper had some sort of chance and he could have done a little bit better with it at his near post, but he seemed to have fumbled it onto his leg, and it's just hit against the post. A little bit of luck has gone Rashford's way, but it's 3-0 and we are now cruising in this tie. Only a few minutes left, and in honesty it doesn't seem to be that there's going to be another goal in this tie. Ukraine haven't poised any sort of threat in terms of going forward, and they've definitely not really put up any sort of fight whatsoever. For whatever reason, I'm not too sure, but it must be an off day. We got one last chance here though as we intercept the ball so perfectly, and this could have been the perfect end to a game, but that is unfortunately what pressure does, and when it gets you a really good chance to be able to get the hat-trick on our international debut, but it doesn't seem to be that's going to be the case as we do fall short and it just blazes wide. But what a debut it's been in front of the England crowd to win 3-0, and 2 of the goals that we completed in was really really, really strong, very good debut. Gareth Southgate should be proud, and I'm definitely proud myself, that is for sure. And that is another step in the right direction in terms of another competition for England. It doesn't mean anything in terms of the victory today, but it will definitely mean a lot going into big competitions that we will be looking forward to in the future if we were to be picked as an England squad. In terms of the objectives, we completed them quite well, to be honest. 2 out of the 3 that we actually got in the end. We weren't actually shown them at the start of the episode for whatever reason, I'm not too sure. And as you can see, they've had a bit of a mishap at the same time. We've still got the Barcelona in the background there, so I'm not really too sure why. But we got the rating, we got the passes. It was the only thing that we lacked on was the possession, but that was down to the team. We have the 3rd and final game of the episode, and it comes up against Denmark away from home in this another international friendly. 2 friendlies that we're going to be playing out in the end as we look to try and see what objectives we complete this time round. And the match objectives will be a 7 rating, a 20% dribble success rate, and 2 passes completed in the opponent's half. Very doable. Let's see what happens though, and let's get into things. Having had such a good debut here at England, we're looking to try and see if we can bounce back and get another one. That is for sure. It'd be very good if we could do so. Gallagher makes a really good interception in the middle of the park, which allows us to run with the ball here as we run on the left-hand side, just dragging the defenders wide, looking for a chance here as they kind of drag to the left-hand side. Really good chance to be able to get ourselves in front, but it just strays wide. Good chance early on in this first half as Denmark tries to see if they can poise some sort of threat, but the defenders deal with it nicely. A lovely flick onto Conor Gallagher as he loses the ball, unfortunately, as Christensen gets intercepted by Saka. Saka sticks a foot out, which allows us to run onto the ball on the right-hand side. We look to try and see if we can beat the defender there. Christensen looking very hard to beat, and Saka gets onto it, and it is very, very unlucky there after I tried to make the run, and it was unlucky to be honest, but it was lucky that it fell to Saka, but he could have done a little bit better with that one. That is for sure. All England so far as we look to try and see if we can get our first goal in this tie. As you can see, Tomori winning a decent header there after a ball long into their box. Just passing it about nicely as we look to try and see if we can assess a few options here as Tomori looks to run into the gap, but he has to play it back to John Stones. Back onto Tomori it goes. 1-2's flying everywhere as Stones back onto Gallagher. Gallagher to Stones. As you can see, Gallagher trying to go back to Stones, and what a mishap this is. As you can see, they're in on goal here. They've only got the keeper to beat if they can get it past him, and Nick Pope is the man between the sticks today, and he's proven his worth. That is for sure. A strong save in front of goal as he makes it still 0-0 in this tie. As they get a corner kick, Conor Gallagher cleans to keep the header, but it falls back out to O'Kells as he looks trying to do something on the outside of the area as we try and pressure him and get the ball off him, but it seems to be that we can't. Maguire makes the interception though as it falls onto Matty Longstaff as we look to make a run here after a pass being made by Marcus Rashford. On the run we go on the left hand side as we look to try and see if we can create something for ourselves as we've got a decent inroad here as we've got the chance, hit the shot on the rebound, and we get the goal to make it 1-0 then in the 23rd minute as we celebrate in front of the England fans. They're all dressed up in afros, hats, you name it, they've got it. Brilliant stuff. Really, really happy to see this, and another goal added to our England game. A really, really enjoyable one this seems to be at the moment. Seems to be that we've just got some sort of luck and we've got some sort of form going for ourselves, but we'll definitely take it. That is for sure. But in terms of the first half, that was pretty much it. In all honesty, it was a very, very poor first half in terms of anything else. Definitely a few attempts being made, but only the one goal to show for it as we do go in at the break 1-0 up. At least we're winning in some aspects, but I would like to have an improvement on the second half then. 56 minutes into the second half as we look to try and see if we can start the curve really nice and strong here. Marcus Rashford gets played in the left hand side as he looks to try and see if he can create something for himself, but he does get intercepted there as you can see. O'Reilly picks it up in the middle of the park as Denmark look to try and see if they go on the attack and counter-attack themselves. Højbjerg picks it up there onto Poulsen. Poulsen onto his teammate on the right hand side as he looks to try and see if he can put the ball into the box. He just holds it up really nicely on the outside of the area, pulling it onto his teammate Højbjerg. Højbjerg's got a chance here as he takes the shot. It is blocked, falls back out to his teammate then. Decent chance here as it falls out to Poulsen, and a very good save made by Nick Pope. He's been on his toes this game, that is for sure, as it falls out to Arnold. Arnold puts it on the right-hand side to Saka, then he follows it up with a decent pass to ourselves. We look to try and see if we can turn the defenders. Such a good bit of skill here as we look to try and see if we can run passes. A decent pass onto Rashford. Rashford onto Longstaff. Longstaff onto Chilwell. Chilwell's in a big space, and he's got the goal to make it 2-0 in the 64th minute, and that should hopefully just seal things in this tie. Ben Chilwell with a phenomenal finish then. Not normally do you see that for a left-back, but we've seen it this time round, and what a finish that was, to be honest. He took a fair few touches in the end, but he managed to get the finish off in his left foot. Lots of power, lots of precision, and it is exactly what you need to beat top goalkeepers, and that's exactly what he does. Really, really nice goal. Really good bit of team play at the same time. Nice and fast. Gareth Southgate gives a round of applause for that one, and we're now 2-0 up. 19 minutes left in this tie, so we'll look to try and see if we can see things out more than anything. Denmark are still going to be looking for that goal to be able to see if they can make a troubled last 15 or so, but it seems to be we got on the counter-attack once again there as we pick up the ball from a lively pass from Saka. We just run wide, as you can see, but we're looking for an opponent to be able to pass it to as we look to try and put it into the middle of the park. Luckily, it falls to Mason Mount, but unfortunately just can't really get the shot off there as Denmark look to go on the counter-attack themselves. O'Reilly picks it up as he puts it onto the right-hand side. They look to make a bolt on the right then as he finds Poulsen. Poulsen holds the ball up really nicely there. We get an overlap from Barr. Barr puts it onto Poulsen. Poulsen in the middle of the park onto O'Reilly. O'Reilly to Barr now as Barr looks to try and do something on the right-hand side. He looks to try and see if he can create a bit of play here. Chilwell making himself nice and strong as it goes out for a throw-in then. Denmark are pretty much seen enough as we've got 12 minutes left to play, but can they get that goal to make a last treble 10? I'm not too sure, but Poulsen puts it on the outside of the area. Holberg looks to be able to get the ball into the box then, and a lovely ball it was, to be honest. Christensen, the number 3, picks it up on the left-hand side. He looks to put it back into the box then as he does really nicely. Højbjerg there is also O'Reilly. O'Reilly to Højbjerg. Højbjerg with the shot! And look at that for an absolute fluke of a goal to make it 2-1 with a troubled last 9 then. And Denmark are back in this game, that is for sure, as Højbjerg picks that ball up knowing that there's not much time left in to be able to get that second goal and get that equaliser. Very good goal in some ways, but a very poor one in others. Good decent hit on the right foot as he does actually look like it's going to be very accurate at the same time. But it looks to be that Nick Pope was going to cover his line. For whatever reason, it just kind of deflects off of the actual defenders itself, sending the keeper the opposite way. And it is now 2-1 then. 8 minutes left in this tie. Can they get themselves back into it? I'm not too sure, but we're going to make it difficult for them as we make a blast on the right-hand side, trying to get the ball into the box, but we get stopped in our tracks there. Christensen looks to try and see if he can clear his lines. He does as he puts it into the middle of the park, then he picks it up really nicely there, one of the Denmark midfielders, as Christensen puts it onto his teammate nicely. Barr makes a bolt on the right-hand side. It looks to be that everything's changing. The momentum's going their way, that's for sure. Decent inroad there, and Poulsen with a big header, but Pope with an even bigger save, going out for a corner kick then. 4 minutes left in this tie. They get a corner kick then. Decent delivery needed. Højbjerg whips it in. Pope with a lovely collection there. Safe hands from Nick Pope then as he gets it lovely, and he looks to try and see if he can throw it out to the left hand side, and he does perfectly. A lovely bit of accuracy from the throw as he looks to try and see if he can make a run on the left hand side. Barr with a big challenge there as it puts it onto Mason Mount, and he still picks up the pieces as he plays it onto Chris Smalling. Smalling takes his time as he finds ourselves then as we look to try and see if we can offload it to one of our teammates. Saka's there as he holds himself up so well, finding the gap. Surely we can't get a third, surely not, just across goal, but it wasn't to be the case then as the keeper does collect. And it looks to be that it's going to be staying 2-1 in this tie as the keeper clears this line, looking for one final attack. Referee hasn't blown the final whistle just yet, and we've got one last attack ourselves. Saka gets the ball onto ourselves, so we've got a perfect chance here as we look to turn the defenders. What a bit of delay this is! And we make it 3-1 in the end. 2 goals in absolute phenomenal form. And another brilliant display. Another 4 goals then in our international kind of 2 games. I would say debut. We've got 2 in our debut. 2 now. This has been absolutely perfect start to life at England. And this could not have gone any better, that is for sure. I wasn't too sure if there was going to be one last final play, but there was, and we took our time. We turned the defender so well, lovely bit of ball control, and the keeper is getting absolutely nowhere near that one, that is for sure. So happy with the result, so happy with the performance, and that should seal the deal in this game then. Full-time whistle has been blown here at Denmark, and we have got the result that we wanted in the end. 3-1 in the end. We did it a little bit harder as Denmark did come back at the death, but it wasn't to be, and we do walk away with the victory then. 2 goals in the end. A brilliant performance from the team and myself. Plenty of attempts, so we could even have had an hat-trick, to be honest, but it wasn't to be this time round, and that will be that here at Denmark. In terms of the objectives, we completed all 3, which is always good. Decent manager rating, so that should be that we're going to be in the starting 11 for the next load of lineups if we were to be selected, and that will be a very good round off to the episode. After the international duty, we get a very weird message from Xavi, to be honest. We've actually backed him all the way, but for whatever reason, he's been disappointed in my performances. I mean, we're top goal scorer of the Liga, and he's been disappointed. Not too sure if that's just EA being EA, to be honest, because I don't see it, because we're still in the starting 11 and we're probably being Barcelona's best player this season. So yeah, very odd thing to see. This is the table. Obviously, we only played 1 game in the Liga, obviously when we had the international friendlies, but this is the table. We played 4, we've won 3, currently sitting on 9 points there. Deportivo Alves actually at the top with 12 points. They're having a very good season so far at the start. But yeah, we're very much there or thereabouts, and as you can see, there's many teams on 9 points also up from the top 6. So all to play for still early on in the season, and I cannot wait for the episodes to keep on rolling. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Please like and subscribe for more content just like this one, and don't forget to hit the notification button so you never miss a video. Cheers.